Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's Season 7, Episode 7, and today we play Chelsea in our first game at our new club as we look to see how the tactic we've created at Newcastle will work for the rest of the season. We'll also see whether we've made a mistake in leaving or not. As you can see from the league table, Wolves have won their last game and we've now got just a 2-point gap to the relegation zone. So if we're not careful, we could be in trouble soon, and we face two of the top 6 in our first 2 games. After that, we've got home ties against Ipswich and Fulham, which are going to take on increased importance if we don't manage to get something out of these two. Our top scorers for the season are just on 5 goals, so hopefully our new tactic can change that slightly, although we have no idea what they were playing before. But first, we've done a few things off camera since the last episode where we introduced the club and the squad. If you haven't seen that yet and want to see the players and their details in full, then go back and check that out to see the overview of the club when we joined. But we've spoken to a few of them, one of them being Muto, who was obviously a bit of a star in our Christmas series on FM19 Touch. But on this one, he said, I want to leave, I need a new challenge, and we've happily accepted that from our third choice striker. At the age of 32, it looks like we're going to get about 4 million quid for him from the MLS sides, so hopefully that means we'll be able to invest a little bit in January. I'm just looking for maybe one player to freshen up the squad, just so it's not a completely stale outfit. On the more negative side of things, if you have a look at our finance and salary on the right, you can see we're in a little bit of trouble there. The numbers have generally been going up, but they had a little poor spell in the summer where they spent money, and again in December they finished some youth facility upgrades, I think, which is why it's gone down. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but there's a little bit of deadwood we'd like to move on in January anyway. Over the next 18 months, we've got to keep this side up. We really want to try and regenerate the squad. When we met them yesterday, we saw a lot of over 80s and a lot of players on big money. Otamendi's retiring at the end of the season. That's going to be a huge one for us as he's the highest paid player at the club. And then it's just about getting some more of the experienced backups out. So Muto, although it's only 4 million, he's on £80,000 a week as well. The likes of Sigurdsson on 75,000. He'll play for now, but he's someone we're happy to let go eventually. And then the likes of Klein and Krunic and Rebic, who are all reserve players. 2 of them don't even make the bench today despite being fit. They're the sort of ones we need to get out of the club. Some of our best players in the first 11, as you can see from our defence, they're all some of the lowest earners at the club. And then Lavinas, the young wonder kid, is another one who's earning hardly anything. He's on a long contract, so we're not worried, but we need a few more of those 18, 19-year-old wonder kids who were signed for a few £1 million and have that potential to develop brilliantly while not taking up too much of the wage budget as a backup player. The only other talk that didn't go well was Danilo. He was moaning about a lack of first team football. I said to him, everyone will get a chance, it's a new club, and he took that as I'm not going to get first team football. I mean, he's probably right because we're using him as a backup to Douglas Luiz, but unfortunately for us, he's just not good enough, and if it means we have to sell him in January, then so be it. If we can get anywhere near his value, it would be an absolutely wonderful deal. But we don't want to overhaul the squad too much this season. If we go and look at the dynamics, we've got a lot of players in the hierarchy who are either highly influential or team leaders, and there aren't many that aren't in either of those categories. So the likes of Ante Rebic, who wanted to leave, we're more than welcome to let him go. We don't want an unhappy Muto here because he's highly influential, but other ones we looked at leaving, like the likes of Iosi Perez, he's a team leader and we probably can't let him go, and then Otamendi's going to be a miss as well. So we don't want to let too many of them go. Danilo's one of these few down here in the influential players, so it doesn't matter too much if he goes. Same for Nathaniel Klein at right back. He's one that's not got much of an influence in the dressing room. So we've got to be tactical about the way we regenerate this squad, but hopefully we can stay away from relegation trouble and make things a little bit easier for ourselves. In terms of the transfer screen, there's one big bit of news. Our director of football could be Victor Orta, the man the chairman's looking to bring in from Crystal Palace for 800,000. He'll be on 11 grand a week, but just go and have a look at his stats. He is absolutely unbelievable. So if we can get him in, I'll be a very happy man, but we'll have to wait and see if he chooses to move. The other thing I didn't realise, our backup keeper Lewis Ward, he's in the under-23s out on loan. He's joining Cork at the end of this year in just a couple of weeks' time. It's the same Lewis Ward we had at Stevenage a few years ago when we joined their club and needed a goalkeeper. So just a bit of a reunion that I didn't really know was there, but he's going to Cork City after his loan expires in a couple of weeks. But nice to see him briefly, and hopefully he's making a good career for himself. But let's get into this game. We've got a massive one against Chelsea. If we can get anything out of it, it'll be brilliant. But as you can see, they've won 5 in a row, and we've lost 3 of the last 5 without a victory at all. They've got Eden Hazard out with injury, which looks disastrous, but at 33, he's very much a rotational option for them. Has played in a lot of the league games, but certainly gets the odd rest. And Gedson Fernandes, he's probably another one, a central midfielder who's been playing first choice. Probably a much bigger miss for them for the world-class midfielder. Billy Gilmore's doubtful with a virus for them. He's become a pretty good player as well. They've got some real superstars in that side, and it's going to be a tricky one for us today. Chelsea are heavy favourites, as you might expect, and we've just got to try and nick a result somehow. We're going with our positive mentality. We want to try and control all of our games at home. I've set up a variant of the 4-2-3-1 as promised, although it looks slightly different to what you were probably expecting. We've got no natural wingers at the club bar Lavinas, but he's not quite good enough to get in the first team. We've got a clear weakness at right back and in attacking midfield, where Sigurdsson's not really fit enough at the age of 35. Ideally, I'd like Louise in the middle here, just in there, and then we'd have Sigurdsson down here, having a proper 4-5-1. But unfortunately, that's not the case, so we've just got to work with the players we've got. It means we've got David Raya, the world-class keeper, in goal. We've got Matiju and Lewis, the fullbacks. Congolo and Lascelles, the experienced partnership in the middle. And only Wiedewald is available if we need a sub. Away to Liverpool, we're going to rest a lot of players, so we'll see a lot of the team over the next 2 games. Obviously, we'll only show the first team on camera, as we don't want to show an absolute whipping with our reserves. We've got Douglas Luiz playing as a Segundo Volante in the holding role. Just the aggressive playmaker type, trying to make late runs forward. Rivera's a central midfielder on defenders, that's all he can do. It's not really a tactical role I'm fond of. He's a decent player, but probably not good enough to be first choice. It's certainly the area we're weakest in the team overall. If we could get in a world-class or a top Premier League central midfielder to come in for Sigurdsson and go in the middle there, and then later on in the year maybe replace Rivera or put Arzani in the middle and get Levinas out wide if he's good enough. In the attacking midfield role, we've got Sigurdsson, as we mentioned. Iwobi's very much been their star man this year off the left. We keep him in his preferred inside forward role. Arzani's a playmaker off the right-hand side, and Callum Wilson plays on his own up front. I've no idea how this will work. We've got the wonder kid on the bench if need be, and a couple of defensive changes if they're needed too. Krunic isn't quite fit, Muto's obviously injured, and Rebic isn't very happy, so he's not going to be in the squad. We'll try and sell him in January and see if our director of football can get anything for him. He's worth £15 million, I doubt we'll get that, but let's see if this new director of football's as good as his stats suggest, he could provide some magic for us. Let's get into the game though, and see if we can pull off a shock in our first game. The new manager bounce, let's see if it's there. Pretty much the exact same formation for Chelsea, just their second central midfielders push further forward as well, and they've got more world-class talent in their team. So they've got Jesse Lingard and Christian Pulisic up there, they've got Umtiti, Christensen, Zuma and Tierney, all recognisable names at the back. Pickford's in goal, he's a good keeper, and then Kessie and Barella from Serie A have both moved over to England here. So let's see what the youngsters do up front for them, but aside from that, it looks like a pretty ominous team. We're going to encourage the lads, go out there and make it count. They're listening keenly, they're just about on our side, but hopefully they'll be able to do well today. Let's get into the game though, and see what the lads can produce. We've set a couple of our tactical instructions up, but not too much, and I haven't turned on our assistance ones yet, just to see how the first game plays out. Obviously it's a different formation to what they're used to. They may have been playing 4-2-3-1 before, but certainly not in this variation. Congolo's got the ball at the back for us though. Plays it out to Douglas Luiz. He goes back to him again. We're just building very slowly, and for as long as Chelsea haven't got the ball, they can't cause trouble. Arzani's going to charge forward with it now. He's got space to run into down the middle. Finds Callum Wilson on the right cutting in. He goes to Sigurdsson with a shot. What an effort that was, but it's just wide at a post and it's goalless after 4 minutes. Very quiet half so far. 12 minutes gone. It's Barella in the middle for Chelsea. He finds Pulisic to Kessie. He's charging into the space. Got no one closing him. Goes for the shot. It's a good effort. But David Raya tips it over the bar. And now we've got to defend our first corner from Chelsea. It's the second of the game apparently. But the first one we're seeing on camera. And Iwobi wins it in the air to put it behind on the other side. It's going to be an in-swinger this time from Lingard. He finds the front post but Lascelles heads away. Barella back into the danger area. Rivera coofs clear. Is out for for a throw-in on the Chelsea left, and hopefully that will be the end of the danger. 15 gone and we're hanging on well, but Chelsea's certainly been the better side. Another youngster on for Chelsea as Barella's picked up an injury in central midfield. They're coming forward again with Zuma though to Larsson. He's a man we had the warning to close down, which we were just doing as that highlight started. But fortunately for us, he put it comfortably wide. They must have a very good team because they've got the likes of De Ligt just sitting on the bench. He's obviously becomes the best centre-half in the game normally. So that's a pretty scary prospect for us, the fact that he can't get in their 11. We're nearly at half-time though, and we couldn't have asked for much more from the lads so far. If we could nick one on the break, it would be even better. Rivera finds Matiju. He goes to Lewis. Sigurdsson on the edge. Switches it to Arzani. He's got a bit of space. Shoots. Hits the bar. Oh, I thought we were going to nick it on a stroke of half time, but we're denied by the woodwork. In truth, we wouldn't have deserved the lead. Lingard's got it though. Chelsea could nick it yet in the first half. Tierney on the left-hand side delivers to Ibrahim. Heads it wide when it was probably easier to score, and we've got away with one there, just as Chelsea did a moment ago. It's about half time though. The whistle's finally gone, and Chelsea have dominated, but most importantly, it's goalless. Let's go and talk to the lads. We're going to encourage them again. The assistant manager's spot on. Let's see if we can keep the morale high, push forward in the second half, and maybe create a chance or two of our own. Any points we get in this game and the Liverpool one are very much points gained, and the highlight ends at the start of the second half with no further damage to our goal. We've got a free kick with Sigurdsson 30 yards out. Pickford forced into a good save. It doesn't matter how old Sigurdsson gets, he can still take a free kick. An out-swinging corner in by him as well. Wilson at the back post loses out. Congolo finds Wilson again into Arzani. Hoof clear by Chelsea, and Lewis recycles possession, but the highlight ends. We come back as Iwobi wins the ball in a defensive area. Rivera to Lewis, the fullback. He goes long over the top. Wilson's beating his man to it. On the edge shoots. Pickford makes the save, and Wilson really should have done more with that. Could have put it either side and scored, but unfortunately it remains goalless, and Sigurdsson's corner's poor on this occasion. Lascelles wins it back though. Got to make sure he doesn't lose it here or it could be very dangerous, but we don't get to see it as the highlight ends. A much better start to the second half from us, but it still remains goalless. Sigurdsson with a shot from a free kick though, but Pickford's comfortably got there, and unfortunately the former club teammates at Everton know how to read each other too well. Lewis has got the ball from the long goal kick. He's going to try and bring it forward, but it's forced back to Raya. Now we've got the ball to Lascelles. Into Douglas Luiz. Had a solid game in the middle there. Arzani's been a key man though, but he gives it away this time. Gets it back and goes to Sigurdsson. Wilson's in one-on-one. What a save by Pickford. This time Wilson did all he could to put it in the corner, but the keeper was equal to it. Rivera wins it back though. Sigurdsson to Arzani, and it's just over the bar, but we have completely dominated this half, and Wilson's two chances have both gone down as clear-cut ones. Matiju heads the ball away. Pulisic finds Ibrahim though, shoots from miles out, and it's comfortably over the bar. An hour gone though, we've very much started this second half on fire. Congolo wins it back. Rivera to Iwobi, charging towards the box, shoots from the edge, straight at Pickford again, but another brilliant effort from the lads, and it's just relentless attacking now as Chelsea finally get a foothold. Pulisic gets the ball over to Ibrahim, he's in one-on-one, Raya with a brilliant save, and the keepers are absolutely majestic in this one. Tierney with an out-swinging corner, goes short to Pulisic, gets it again, and Titi in the box delivers, deflects off Lascelles, and it's behind for yet another corner. Pulisic will take it. It's an in-swinger. Goes to the back post. Kessie's up. Rivera heads it away. Sigurdsson flicks it on. What a game this has been. How it's 0-0, I don't know. Both teams having loads of chances. Kessie goes back to Tierney, and the highlight finally ends as we get to calm down a bit. A few more minutes and we'll make some subs just to try and see out the game. Just over 15 to go. It's a throw for Chelsea. They seem to have asserted their dominance again. Rivera's giving it away in a dangerous area with a header. Miles gets the ball to Lopez. Shoots for Chelsea over the bar. And it's time to make some substitutions, I think. I've accidentally gone back to a previous highlight. Let's go and make those subs now. It's Sigurdsson who's not had the best of games. We're going to try and bring on Iosi Perez for him. In that number 10 role, he's normally quite good. Or in fact, should I gamble and bring the Wonder Kid on? I'm not quite sure which to do out of the two. I'm going to bring the Wonder Kid on, why not? Arzani's going to go into the middle. He's going to play as an advanced playmaker on support, which is what he was doing out wide. And then on the right hand side, we're going to go for Adriano Levinas. He's going to go on as a winger. He prefers the support duty, so we'll leave it at that. We'll give it 5 more minutes before changing the striker, and then we'll save 1 sub for extra time if need be. It's a free kick for Chelsea on the right with Zuma. He goes short to Kessie, who beats his man easily. Back to Miles. Into Lopez on the edge. He's got too many either side of him, but goes back to Miles for the second time. Zuma flicks it on with his head. Matiju and Lewis combine to get it away, but Tierney beats Lavinas to it. Lewis clears, but it hits the referee by the looks of it. Pulisic to Kessie. Chelsea dominating now. We've got to try and hold on. A point would be such a big result. Zuma delivers to Ibrahim. Congolo heads away. Back into Ibrahim again. And Chelsea have finally scored. And it was really poor defending, which has unfortunately cost us. Let's make the changes then. Callum Wilson's anxious, so he might as well get off. Seferovic comes on. He'll go into his deep lying forward role on attack. That means Arzani needs to go into an attacking role. Or do we just bring on Iosi Perez for him? We're going to do that. Perez on as an advanced playmaker, and he's going to go to an attacking duty. Fingers crossed we can get a result with those two. We'll have a Iwobi cutting in as well, just to try and get in behind the striker. Lavinas too, why not? Let's go for it and see what happens for the last 10 minutes. Chelsea take the lead, but we've certainly put up a fight, and if Wilson was taking his chances, we'd be 2-1 up at this point. It's a throw on the right for Zuma. He gives it to Kessie. Zuma again. Chelsea have started to calm down now. They've really dominated the last 10 minutes. Miles from the edge shoots, but it's just over the bar, and we're going to encourage the lads for the last 5 just to see if we can get anything more out of them. I think they've given as good as they've got. We've had all the clear-cut chances in the game, but Callum Wilson's just been wasteful, combined with Pickford having a great game. Kamara out on the left for Chelsea. We've got a man over on the right-hand side. Lopez gets there on the edge, it's blocked. Miles again delivers to Kamara, goes for the shot just wide, but Chelsea's certainly having most of the territory at present. Pulisic again with a corner. Lascelles heads away, goes as far as Kieran Tierney. He's going to try and deliver, but he's forced backwards in the end, all the way back to the keeper Pickford, and Chelsea can bring it away easily. They're coming forward with Christensen. He finds Titi, plays a 1-2 into Kessie in the middle. Kessie's got time to bring it forward to Pulisic. Got an overlap on the right or a short man in the middle, and he goes inside to Lopez. Now they finally do find Zuma overlapping. Lascelles and Congolo head away, but only as far as the edge of the box. Lopez and Kessie play a 1-2 again. Lopez has got time. He's looked dangerous from there, as has Kamara, but his shot straight at Raya, who does well to hold it rather than palm it away. We're going into stoppage time. It looks like it's going to end in defeat, but it's been a really promising performance from us, and I feel positive moving forward that we can certainly win against some of the lower table teams. Luiz heads the ball away and the final whistle goes. It's a 1-0 defeat. Chelsea had the better of the game, but we had the best chances, which Callum Wilson wasted. It looks like a new striker, something else I've got to add to the shopping list, but realistically we won't get that this year. We're going to praise the lads. They did really well as underdogs, and they certainly competed against the top 6 side. We've still got that 2-point cushion. Derby lost, which means the bottom 2 are marooned, and that's what we want to see moving forward. Burnley got a win, which is a bit of a shame. We're losing a little ground to them. We've got to play the leaders Liverpool next, who are topped by 3 points with a game in hand, and then we've got the 2 games that we should really be competing to win. Ipswich the bottom side at home, and then Fulham at home, who are in mid-table. If we play like that in both of those games, and Wilson scores in one of them, we should be able to do okay. His form's probably even more important considering this alert. Seferovic has now played 7 matches without a goal, and a deep line forward doesn't really suit our system. We'll do the press conference off camera in a moment, but we want to go and look and see when we'll next be back. I'm trying to find some games possibly towards the end of the January window. So we've got Chelsea in the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Bournemouth is then the last match of January. Where are they in the league? They're up in 9th place, and obviously if we get past Hull there could be an FA Cup tie in between. So we'll probably show the Chelsea game, and then we may show one of the 2 games afterwards as well, or we'll put a focus on transfers depending on how much has been done. So our director of football will certainly determine the other half of our episode. We'll definitely show the Chelsea second leg, and then it'll either be another game or transfer action, depending on how active he is. Hopefully it'll be the man we saw, as he looks like an absolutely fantastic director of football. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on the video. I'll finish on the competition screen so you can see the league table. Let me know in the comments what you thought of that first performance. It looked to me like the tactic worked well, and we were just a goal scorer away from nicking that game. I'm certainly going to persist with it for the 2 games against the lower sides, and if we struggle against those we may have to rethink. But I'm fairly confident if we play like that, we'll certainly be able to get 4 or 6 points on the board. As always, for our first episode at a new club, let me know what position you think we'll finish this year. It could be any number of places. I'm certainly looking as high as 12th and possibly as low as 18th if things go wrong. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories. This one, the head coach, where we're obviously settling in at our new team, and for the first time we've managed a Premier League game just 7 seasons in, which is remarkable. And in our other series, part of the furniture with Torquay United, the One Club Challenge, where we try to take them all the way from the bottom playable league up to the top of English and European football. There's also weekly content from my FIFA 19 lower league career with Crew Alexandra. That'll be back on Friday at 4:30. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support and following of the series, and we'll see you next time for another game against the same opposition, this time in the Carabao Cup semi-final.